Carolyn Myss threw me a life preserver, a mystical life preserver, when I was drowning in my own tears. They were tears of grief. I'd experienced a terrible loss. Someone I expected to spend the rest of my life with died suddenly, and I was at a loss. I found myself at a crossroad in my life I did not expect to be. And at that point, I had to deal with my shadows. Have you ever felt grief that way? Have you ever been in that type of circumstance where something hits you hard and then your shadows come out to confront you? What did you do about it? I'll tell you what I did. Now, fast forward to today. No coincidence that YouTube suggested a Carolyn Myss video for me. And of course, I watched it. I love her so much. She's been my North Star for many, many years. Now, Carolyn has an illustration of spiritual growth. She uses a building as the illustration. And at the first floor is where you start and you work your way up spiritually to the penthouse. Now, on the first floor, you're very grounded, and it's a confusing place sometimes. It's a very busy place. It's a very noisy place. You have a limited view because you're very close to the ground. But as you move up on your spiritual journey, when you get to the penthouse, the view changes to a much broader view. But we start on the first floor, and that's where many people stay for their entire life. And it can be a very frightening place, even though that's where we express our wants, our needs, our desires. And the problem for us, if we don't choose to confront our shadow, and our shadow lives very close to us on the first floor, is that we limit our spiritual growth. So it's time to take the first step and move up. As we move up the floors of the building to the penthouse, we're going to do an express view of spiritual journeys here. We're able to see more of our surroundings from the penthouse. Our view is not impeded by things that are blocking us. We've pursued our ancestral healing. We've done shadow work. When we get to the penthouse level, we are very far removed from the noise and the fear that we experienced on the first and lower floors. There's a sense of peace and serenity, and the view is so expansive. When we look up, we see the galaxy, we see the stars, we see the planets, and we know that we are part of this. We are made of stardust. Now, the shadows we know are living downstairs. They're still with us, but we've been able to understand and incorporate the power of the shadow into us. And at this level, we are asking not who is at fault, but what is required of us at this state in our evolution. This goes beyond individual and specific action. This is a cosmic spiritual question, and it's a very good question to ask. What can we do? Not so much who is at fault. Even though we're individuals, we are part of many communities, a local community, a state, national, even global, but we're also part of a galactic community. This is a quantum perspective, something you'll see from the penthouse. There's a different mythology here, a different perspective on God. As a matter of fact, at this point, you're probably asking, well, what does this have to do with shadow work? Our shadow can be many things. And one of the things it can be is denial. you can deny your spirituality. You can deny the fact that what is in one is in the whole. We can deny the fact that we're made of stardust and that we're made of elements from all over the galaxy. When you allow to perceive yourself as something that is immortal, galactic, it sounds a little far out there, but think about it. If we're made of these molecules, and these molecules are from all over the total universe, what does this make us? It makes us amazing. It makes us capable of spiritual growth. This is something that I have learned from Carolyn Myss, and this is what saved me from drowning in my tears. We are unstoppable when we allow ourselves to be. When we align with our shadow and we acknowledge our strengths and our weaknesses, there is nothing to hold us back. Our spiritual growth can be unlimited. Well, that takes us back to the first floor where we began our journey. There's a lot of fear and pressure to conform and to limit our expectations on the first floor. It's not an easy or simple journey to move up to the penthouse. Sometimes we have to conform and limit our expectations when we stay on the first floor. It's a high price to pay to move up to the penthouse by leaving these beliefs behind and taking a step forward and upward. But oh, how the price is worth it when you see the view from the penthouse and you change your perspective on yourself and on the world. Like all journeys, there are roadblocks and there are detours and there are ways that can interfere with our progress. This is natural. This is natural in life. But when we start incorporating the knowledge that we learn, the healing, the shadow work, the ancestral healing that we do, this is how we pay our dues on our journey up to the penthouse, worth every minute. We are living in a truly amazing time. It's no coincidence that over 90% of the world's population have cell phones. This has happened over such a short period of time that our minds, our bodies, our nervous systems, even our spiritual side, haven't had a chance to catch up to this energetically. Very few people have the capability of tapping into this unless they're aware. Now, there are many traumatic events that seem to be happening lately, and it's important to pay attention to your shadow and how this is affecting your reaction to what is going on. It's important to tend to your spiritual work, your shadow work, your ancestral healing, because it's all connected spiritually and in our DNA. By being aware of your shadows and your traumas, you can use this amazing energy for healing, and you can grow instead of turning it into anger and fear. It is a challenge. There's no doubt, especially if you're kind of on the lower floors, and most of us, we're still there. We're working our way up. But if you're heading for the penthouse, you will have a much broader view of what is happening and how your shadows and all this pain can change one step at a time. If you would like some more information about shadow work and healing trauma, I have a workbook for you. It's available if you just leave the word shadow down below, and I will make sure you get a copy of this and a checklist that goes along with it. I hope that you will continue your journey, and there's another video right up here that will give you more information about shadow work and the steps we might take, and some ideas, some creative ideas for you to get the ball rolling. This is a perfect time to confront your shadow and transform and incorporate the shadow part of you, because these may be challenging times, but I know you're up for the challenge. So thank you for spending the time. This is Vicki Trancho saying, take it one step at a time.